What's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Maurice, the role model here, and in today's short video, we're going to talk about the One Funnel Away Challenge, 30-day challenge, and today is mission 2, day 2. We're talking about failure and what it teaches us. Stay tuned.
What's the first thing you need, the second thing, and the third thing? Pretend like these are humans because they are. What does One Funnel Away mean? Like, what is the whole concept behind that? For everybody, it's different. For some of you guys, you're in a job you hate and you're trying to get out of that, right? And some of you guys, you are entrepreneurs, you got a business and maybe it's stuck and it's not where you want it to be yet. And some of you guys, it's one funnel that helps you get the bigger impact. My goal of this challenge is to help you guys to design and architect and understand what that funnel is and how it's going to work for you specifically. Belief is the most important part involved in all of this. I need you to believe this will work for you. For some reason, people think because it's a funnel, it's like this magic nerdy thing. It's like, no, it's people are people. This is just a process we're taking somebody through. The funnel is like having the best salesperson on earth take somebody through the process and finding exactly what they need. The difference between what happens in a store and what happens here is I don't have to have a salesperson. The funnel does the selling for you. That's what you're trying to create for them. And if you do that, it increases the happiness of your customer. Then it'll increase how much money you make from every transaction, which makes it a better experience for you as well. That's what a funnel is. That's the big secret. The way this challenge is going to work, each day there's going to be new videos unlocked. Each one's going to be a mission. After that mission's finished, there's going to be some kind of task for you to do, and I need you to do it. I'm going to lay down the groundwork. Julie Stoyan will show you how to build your funnel, and then Stephen Larsen's going to hold your feet to the fire and make sure you get each task done on time. Today's mission, we're going to start getting into your offer sequencing. We're going to be talking about offer hacking, the power of e-covers, publishing, story, squeeze page, sales page, order form, OTO page, how to fill your funnel, build out your dream 100 in traffic, paid side of ads. It's like playing Monopoly, but at the end of the game, you get to keep the money. This is like the #1 rule of direct response marketing. A confused mind always says no. The average attention span of a human being today, guess how long it is? 7 seconds. So because of that, your website is literally blocking people from giving you money. Hook, story, offer, going, grabbing someone and getting their attention. You increase the offer, you make it better, people give you money, people give you the email address, people click on your ads. That's the magic.
The One Funnel Away Challenge was amazing. Thank you, Russell, for changing my life and changing my business.
For a lot of people who get into this, they don't understand the fundamentals, and because of that, it's complicated.
I literally feel like I can open up any business right now.
When you understand the base core principles of direct response marketing, then funnels become really, really simple and really easy.
We've got our 2 Comma Club awards!
This process will work for you. It'll change your business, it'll change your life, but most importantly, it's going to change lives for your customers.
I'm in the 2 Comma Club.
Business is not about you just making money, but you'll find very, very quickly as you go through this process, the excitement and energy and motivation for money doesn't last long. After you start making money, what will light you up is your ability to serve these customers.
This is a dream come true, man. I visualized this over and over again.
As you see their lives transform, that's what's going to light you up. Like, that's the key. That's why we do all this stuff that we do. And it's going to be why you're building your company as well.
Wow.
If you spend the next 30 days, put in the time, put in the effort, put in the energy, I promise you guys it'll be worth it. At the end of this, you'll have something really cool to show yourself, show your spouse, show your friends, show your family. It'll be like the launch pad for your entire new companies. I need you to unglue from these external things that you're doing and just focus. Like, I'm telling you to focus hard for 30 days. At the end of it, you can have income that most people can never even dream about. It's a lot of work for a concentrated period of time, but it's worth it. There's just one funnel away, and I'm excited to help you get there during this challenge.
Takeaways that I had from the One Funnel Away Challenge, mission 2, day 2. Some good points. Russell talked about all his failures, and he gave the whole genesis, origin, backstory of just where ClickFunnels has come to where we have it today versus, what they came from, what he dealt with. And I really, really love the transparency. I love the vulnerability. He even got choked up a couple of times, and I love that because you can see that he's a real person, right? He's learned from failure in this entrepreneurial network marketing role model type personal development, just entrepreneurial space, just funnel hacker space, right? everybody has a story, and everybody's story usually has something that they've come from, that they've stemmed from, that has gotten them to where they are today, right? So he talked about, I love the points how he talked about the walls that he hit and the obstacles from not being able to serve those that he was committed to, that bought his coaching program when he was about to lose it all, when he was about to get jailed for the taxes situation, with the payroll taxes, that not being his fault, and just getting in that situation to where that put his back against the wall, right? And about losing everything, and it was Christmas time, and he didn't know what to do. He was literally stuck like on a wall, and then he had, bam, an epiphany, like an idea. And it got me thinking, that's something that because that was kind of his fears, right? He was fearing he didn't have the money to pay all the people that was working with him and their families, and you're talking about hundreds of people here, and it was around Christmas time, and and these are people that he had to break the news to, like, hey, we're going to pretty much be bankrupt, I might be going to jail, and I can't pay you your money. These are fears, right? Any person that's a business owner would definitely have empathy with that. And the idea is what resonated with me a lot, because I remember Jim Rohn talked about his mentor, Dr. Earl Schoaf. Jim Rohn, anybody knows him in the network marketing, personal development space, one of my many mentors in the beginning. He talked about when some people, he used to use that excuse, Jim Rohn, when he was learning from Dr. Earl Schoaf, right? Saying that, I don't have any money. He used that as an excuse. Dr. Schoaf said, that's not an excuse. That's not a reason. He says, it's not that you don't have money. It's that you have the lack of an idea. That's the problem. The money's not the problem. It's the lack of an idea of how to get the money. That's the problem. I was like, whoo, that is deep. All right, because I never thought about that before, right? It all starts here. Like my Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki talks about. This all starts with ideas. And now to think of it, that's actually my backstory. That's how I found Russell. Just to give you that little backstory real quick, how I came across Russell Brunson, this young man that looks like he's 15, 18 years old, but really we're the same age, was that I came across him when I was homeless. I was at a dark time in my life where I didn't have any money. I just got excommunicated out of the house with my ex, and my Audi car and my clothing was there in the house, but I couldn't go and get it. So I was literally no clothes but the clothes on my back, no transportation, and this is in Arizona, right? And regardless of the situation, it doesn't matter what it is. The bottom line what it is, I was put in a bad situation, and I had no food, no money. Maybe I think I had like $40 in my name or something like that. And I found myself going to temp jobs, doing ditches, like, digging a trench. If y'all ever know what a trench is, it's like it's crazy hard work, right? And I've been in the military before, and I, like Steve, I've been in the military, and I know definitely digging foxholes or digging trenches, like digging it, that's not easy work, right? So I definitely give a lot of respect to the construction workers of the world out there. Whew, I give you a lot of mad respect, mad props, right? But anyway, But yeah, when I came across, I was going to the library all the time because I had no internet, had no access. My phone had got shut off. So it was like I didn't have no communication. I went to the library, and I came across, after about weeks and weeks of going to the library and just searching. I was just searching what to do, and I had a couple of businesses, online businesses I was leaning towards and things of that nature. And then bam, all of a sudden I came across Robert Kiyosaki, because I was always studying him, but I came across Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read that book, The Cash Flow Quadrant, right here, ESBI. I read that book, and this resonated with me 100-fold, 1,000,000-fold, right? Once I knew this, that's when I knew exactly, okay, what I need to do. And ironically, it's like the universe. You ever heard of that? The Secret? If y'all ever heard The Secret? It's like the universe conspires with you when everything's going right to work in your favor. Then I came across Russell Brunson. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, who I follow to the core. He was interviewing Russell, and it was like a webinar, and I never knew what a teleseminar, a webinar, a seminar, I didn't know what any of this was, okay? All this I had learned from Russell. In the last 2-3 years, I've learned so much more from Russell than I've ever learned in college, ever learned in school, ever learned in anything, right? So anyway, it says my weird niche, I'm looking right here, my weird niche funnel currently making me $17,947 a day. And I was wondering, why did he break down that number? 17,947 is because, I mean, you got to look at the webinar, but you'll get it. But it adds up to $1 million in a year, right? Because he wanted to make $1 million a year. But I don't want to spoil it. You got to go check out the webinar. But, but when I saw that and Rich Dad was interviewing him, I'm like, well, it's got to be legitimate. Because Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and get this, Russell, not only was he working with Rich Dad, but he had a situation to where he helped Robert and his company, you know, the Rich Dad company, to downsize a lot, to become more efficient, to save money, but also, you know, to make more money with the ClickFunnels and with everything Russell that he was teaching him and things of that nature. So he was helping him out. And, you know, he at the same time, Rich Dad was interviewing him, talking about, you know, pretty much how he loves the work he's doing, how he loves how he's helping the world. And Russell was on there geek like I would be, right? I mean, he's like, hey, I'm in front of the Rich Dad Poor Dad author. I'm just stoked, right? Because a lot of people have read that book and has changed so many lives. As Russell, he said his dad gave him that book when he was younger, right? But anyway, seeing all the failures that he's done, and he's actually scaled from that. He's advanced from that, and he's taken those steps already. It makes it so much greater for us because we don't have to do all those failures that he went through. He did that already. He's like already paved the way, right? So thank you. You know, that he had those situations happen in his life and he's grown from them and learned from them, right? I love Steve. Steve really just hits it home, right, with a lot of points. He talked about our infirmities, our vulnerability, our excuses that we're using, like don't have money, don't have transportation, don't have time, don't have the resources, right? He's saying these are the exact things that actually are the hooks and the offers that we're going to use in order to become likable, become followable to with our message, you know, to sell whatever we want, to sell a crap ton of whatever you want, to get out to the world and to service and to value so many other people. The thing that you're thinking is standing in a way, as what Steve says, is the exact thing that is going to get you out of the way. Does that make sense? Like Russell said, you know, well, that wasn't the issue with him. The idea he had with how to get the money and how to launch and to make this happen, that saved Christmas for him. And that's the same thing with Steve. He went through a lot of stories too. And it's always seeming to be a pattern here, like a pattern. It's the idea that you have and being transparent, being real with yourself. If you don't have the resources, he said, you need to become more resourceful. It's not about if you don't have the resources. There's a lot of people, come on, we didn't come out the womb of our parent with just resources. We had to learn to adapt and to get what we had to get along the way of us growing to how we are right now as adults. You know, that's what you have to do to learn. That's how we grow, right? Another thing Steve said, I love that learn for two. I love that, Steve. That was great. You know, learn to teach someone else. That's how you learn it more yourself. I love that, right? Because usually, like what I'm doing right now, I'm shooting a video elaborating on what I've learned, and this is something I can look back on to see I can actually get more concrete. It gets burned and seared into my brain when I teach what I know to someone else, right? Be a product of the product, right? You got to drink your own Kool-Aid, right? Some of the fears I had before I wrap up is, and it might be some fears that y'all might have, it might resonate with you all, which is not getting the opportunity. At that time, remember, I was homeless. Remember, I was my ex at that time was pregnant in our trimester with the twins, my twin girls. I was gonna have Genesis and Revelation, the twins. I didn't even get to see the twins. I didn't know what I was gonna do. How was I gonna get money? How was I gonna get back? I had none of these answers. All these were like enigmas, and I didn't know. So yeah, like I had that as a big fear, not being able to have all of my kids, all of my babies, all of my kids, and be a father to them, to be a role model to them, right? That was one of my biggest fears, right? So I had to figure this thing out when I came across Russell. That was my whole intent. Also, dying before the world can see and feel my calling. And that was one of my biggest fears, to that my time would come before that happened. when I saw Russell, one of the biggest fears that rose was not understanding how to get the eyeballs, how to get the traffic to come to what I have, to how they can come and see me, to see what I have of value to offer to the world. That was one of the biggest things of all, I think, that I dealt with when I saw Russell, when I was indoctrinated, when I just dove in, I leaned in, right? Everything became more clear. I learned everything, what I needed to know. So I definitely can see these points, and it was just a blessing. So anyway, this whole thing is getting so good. It's getting better and better and better by the day. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this little lyric ender. It's so funny because he talked about a system. You need a system, like Steve talked about. People need to understand they gotta have a system. One of the comments that was in the post that Steve had was talking about, someone had said that about a system. I think it was Martha. I think it was Martha. But you talked about the system, right? And I remember me being an MC, being a lyricist. I broke it down in the song one time I think it's on the network marketing mixtape I'm going to record soon, right? But I said, oh my God, I'm telling you, this is not a facade. To be number one means I gotta be odd. Being broke is a joke, sonny. Peep the system. Save yourself time, energy, and money. I'm dropping that wisdom, and I'm not even a dentist. Funnelhacker, one funnel away. Y'all about to witness.